Now, a Hutch's weather update with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson, brought to you by Robert Gibb and Sons.
You got a problem to fix and you want to get it done. Call Robert Gibb and Sons.
All right, everybody, meteorologist Hutch Johnson joining you for Hutch's Weather. My friends at Robert Gibb and Sons, hey, they are the residential, commercial, and industrial experts since 1915. They know how to get the job done right. Call them today if you have any needs. Let them know Hutch sent you.
Call Robert Gibb and Sons.
All right, we have a lot to talk about. It's very windy out there. As you can see, the wheat behind me is laying over. And not only that, we have some very hot conditions. We've had showers out in the west and north today throughout the day, keeping your temperatures cooler. Take a look at this. And first, remember, drop me a line. Let me know that you're on. I see Nathan is joining me once again. Nathan, it's a pleasure to have you on board as always. Thank you so very much for joining me. All right, we're going to talk about a chance of storms. There could be some severe ones each and every day, but we're going to start with the latest radar. We have some very fast-moving storms, as you can imagine, in these very stout southwest winds. So these storms are punching up to the northeast pretty quickly. Nothing severe here, folks. And take a look at the temperatures back on the cold side of this system. We're talking 70s for Belcourt, 74 in Devil's Lake and Winkler up in Canada. Pretty cool as well. As we dive in, you're 74 degrees. These are garden variety showers and storms working their way through. Let's get a look from the Deering radar. It'll show you a few more out in the central Dakotas. It has been rainy and much cooler. Remember, triple digit heat out there. It has to feel much more refreshing out there today. Look at the capital city, 73 degrees for my friends in Bismarck, North Dakota today. Now, when we look into Grand Forks, it's just redonkulous. We have a temperature of 93 degrees at the airport. It's 89 at Emerado. 90 degrees in Crookston at this hour, and Thief River Falls has 88 out at the airport. Waskish, how about 88? And you're right on the shores of the big lake. That's not common. And the same thing goes for Warroad. Here you got this big body of water that helps to regulate temperatures, and you are sitting at 88 degrees there. Way up north at the Angle Inlet, thanks to the south wind that's blowing that air mass over the top of this huge body of water, your temperatures are, well, considerably more comfortable. But I can't call them that because you got 77 of the dew points in those sticky 70s. Good to have you on board, Cheryl from Park Rapids. Hi, as usual, to you, Carmen, as well in Lisbon. Wonderful to see you. And Jill watching from Bijou. Good to have you on board. Now, speaking of Bijou and out towards Mahnomen County, we do have a temperature of 86 degrees there. 84 degrees for you in the, Foston area at this hour. Now, here's Fargo's readings. We have 90 at the Moorhead Airport, and right now, 95 sizzle-worthy degrees. Where's my forecast sheet from yesterday? Oh my, I think I said 95. We could beat that. Sorry about that. I'm wrong. It's going to get even hotter, I think. Heat and humidity returns. Send it back, says Lisa. I agree. And, JN from Hillsboro and Julene from the beautiful city of Wahpeton joining. Bless you all for taking time to join me for Hutch's Weather. Now, Detroit Lakes, same thing goes. We have south winds, and look at this out in Park Rapids, 86, 84 Detroit Lakes. And how about Fergus Falls? It's 86 there, 91 degrees for Wahpeton. Now, if you're heading out to the Chahinkapazoo, it's hot. Stay hydrated. Christie's in West Fargo. Carmen, good to have you. And Sandy on. Sandy joining from beautiful Detroit Lakes, Minnesota, where I took a stroll along the beach yesterday. Okay. Check it out. Temperatures down near Pier, it's 97 degrees when you get into Gettysburg down there. 97. So the heat focused right here in the Southern Valley. We do have a heat advisory. We'll turn on the watches and warnings for you so you can see that. But basically, this is a no-brainer. We have heat indices that are into those triple digits in places. And the heat indices the warnings here for the heat and the advisories for heat will be coming on in. So here's a look at your current gusts. Let's pop into the Fargo area. Let's look at Hector International. I just heard what sounded like the Blue Angels out there blasting through the skies again. 35 mile per hour southerly gusts. I don't even know that they feel those gusts in those jets because I hear that they can be pretty expeditious when they need them to be. Okay, here's the deal. We do have a chance of a few storms tonight that could fester up and be strong to severe. Let's go right to the hour-by-hour forecast. We'll discuss things. 99 in Hillsboro. Oh, my goodness. Oh, Farah, that is too hot. And Sue says we have north of Fergus Falls, it's 90 degrees by Edwards. Thank you for your report. So it's just downright hot. It's downright windy. And we have this area of low pressure right now that is focused on the Black Hills down here by Custer and in toward the Sand Hill area of Nebraska. Now, as we look in our neck of the woods, we have this little bit of a trough axis is what we call that. And it's kind of a cool front too, because the winds behind this out in Minot, they're from the northwest and they're in the 70s. So big time temperature difference across our areas. I just showed you we have 60s in Towner County right now and 70s in Devil's Lake, and it's 90s here in the valley. Ridiculous. Here's what that means for our forecast. Let's put this thing into motion here. And let me see. I got to open it up and I got to go ahead and take a look at the latest model runs. So let's get up here and let's go down a couple. Boom, there we go. Okay, now here is what we can expect as we go through. These are just scattered showers of rain. See how they don't look too big of a deal, and then when they move into the valley, it looks like they fall apart. Not the case though overnight. Now there's 10 o'clock. A couple of rumbles near Lake of the Woods. Here we go. The low pressure system in South Dakota gets organized. This system is going to bring a chance for some stronger storms during the overnight hours. Not all of these will be severe. And if we get anything with the heat and humidity, notice they're riding right along this boundary between this hot nastiness that's down here and the cooler air that's up in northwest parts of North Dakota. Deb, thank you so very, very much for your sharing of stars. I hope you have a wonderful day. Mine shows 100 in Hillsboro also, JN. I tell you what, that is just too hot. Way too hot. As we talked about yesterday, a chance for a triple-digit reading, and it looks like Hillsboro could be the big winner. Let us know your temperatures right here as well. All right, showers and thunderstorms. The time here, subtract 5, because this time 0900 hours on Saturday is actually 4 a.m. here. So we're going to have overnight thunderstorms. Will they be severe? There's a small chance that we could have 1 or 2 of them become severe. It's not a great chance. The chance improves tomorrow in this sticky air tracker here as we go through. Morning storms rumbling through, not a big deal, but most of the day, if you're heading out to the air show, it looks hot and it looks less stormy during the daylight hours. So we could have some passing morning showers, a few clouds as that boundary slides a little closer to us. We may even see a few more clouds out there on the north side of the FM area. And here in the Fargo area and points south and east, it looks quiet. Now, here comes the main event. The main low pressure system starts gliding right here into the eastern part of the Dakotas as we go into your Sunday. And what this means is by Sunday afternoon, watch this. Shazam, right here it comes. And this system here is going to, I think, bring what could be the best chance for some more widespread severe storms. So we'll have passing storms on Saturday night. It looks late after your events at Turkey Days. If you're heading out to Loco Days, if you're heading up to the big old fair out there in, what is it? It's the, well, Warren. Yeah, you have the Warren Fair in Marshall County, Minnesota. That's right. How can you forget about that? Maybe take in a drive-in movie theater performance out there. This storm here is going to bring all modes of severe weather potential, and it looks like the best chance will be in the Southern Valley. So now we're going to hop back over to my radar, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to load up a look at the Storm Prediction Center's outlooks for severe storms. We're going to start with tonight's outlooks. So here we go as we go ahead and highlight the map, and I'll point this out to you right now. So let me move screens around here and we'll answer your question. Carmen says 97 on the east side of the house in the shade. That's in the shade. 91 Barnesville. Thanks, Missy, for Van Hook Resort by Newtown. Hey, I hope you all are doing good. You're on the cool side of this system there, right? So things are looking pretty good. Tracy, thank you so very, very much for your support of stars. Okay, let's take a look at this radar, and I'll show you on here there's some colors. These colors are straight from the Storm Prediction Center. These guys are experts. They're in Norman, Oklahoma. That is the severe weather capital. It's kind of right smack dab in the middle of Tornado Alley. Not only that, the University of Oklahoma stands close nearby, and this is where we do a lot of our nation and world's severe weather research when it comes to thunderstorms. They say this green area means it's a marginal risk of severe storms in our area, from western South Dakota and the Black Hills all the way into the Red River Valley. So black to red, Black Hills, Red River Valley. A marginal risk means 1 or 2 storms might flirt with severe. The main risk tonight is going to be a little bit of hail and some wind. I think that's going to be about it from those storms tonight. Now, let's take a look at tomorrow, Saturday. You see the yellow area here? This is where the storms initiate tomorrow night. So it looks like we get through in Fargo and Grand Forks and Lakes country most of the day. We'll be in the green area. 1 or 2 storms during the late night hours might flirt with severe. But by and large, the best chance of severe is right here. Now, listen to me, please. I hope you're still on. Are you still listening? Linda's listening. Phyllis, you're listening. I hear you. Hutch is taking some time off this weekend. I am running out and I'm going to do some fishing. And I'm going to try to, catch a fish and just enjoy some time away. But I am going to keep my eyes on the weather. If storms approach your area tomorrow night, I'll be traveling. But if storms approach your area tomorrow night, hutchesweather.com is there for you. Hutchesweather.com, if you allow it to track your location, it's going to tell you if the storm heading toward you is a warning or not. So if there's a warning in your area, it will show up at the top of the page just like such. Let's go right here and let's check this out. So on hutchesweather.com, if we reload this, it'll probably be telling us, yep, by golly, we have a live event going on. But look at the top line. There are weather alerts out here. So if you take a look at that top line, it's right up here. It says expand the alerts for the heat advisory. It will show you all the details straight out of the National Weather Service's mouth. So those are the nearby alerts in your area. So if you allow Hutch's website called Hutch's Weather to track your location, you're good to go. Look at this. This is the smartest thing since whoever invented sliced bread and popped corn. Look at this. If you click on your information here, you get the sunrise, sunset time for your location. You also get things like the gusts. Today, those gusts have been robust, and it does look like we have some feels like temperatures that are approaching those triple-digit values today here in the FM area. Now, as we take you down, there's your interactive radar. You can drive around and take a look at what you have going on there. Again, the latest videos are always here on Hutch's Weather. So if you need a forecast update, if you are looking for anything, the latest thing Hutch has is right here. Also, let you know, I'm looking for more sponsors. Logos are here and they keep Hutch's Weather possible. So think of that and contact me for details at the email there. And you can always upload your photos. I've got one for you. Are you ready to see a photo before we presume details here? Check it out. All right. So this is a photo that was uploaded today. Hey, near Big Pine Lake in Perham, Minnesota. Gotta like this. Look at Mark's picture here. Near Big Pine Lake. This is that smoky, hazy view of the sun last night. Let me get that out of the way, and there you can see it. Look at that. Not only did we have a few clouds dancing around it, but well, we've been treated with some beautiful looking clouds. So again, I'll go back and look for your questions. Thanks to all of you who have supported me over the months. Holy hot. My brain has been cooked, Sarah says. Yes, it's a heat wave out there. And again, let's get right back to that radar. So thanks again for your patience. This will be my really long update here because I want to make sure we're covered. Saturday's risk of severe storms is a slight risk. What does that mean? We'll have a few severe storms, large hail, damaging wind, and there's a tornado risk. We'll show you the hail risk right here in brown. That's where the greatest risk of hail is. The storms will fire out here in the eastern third of North Dakota and move this way. That's where the hail risk will be as we go into the nighttime hours. What about the greatest risk for damaging straight line winds? The storms that form in the dry country of western South Dakota, where their climate's been a little different so far this season. Those dry thunderstorms tend to be blowy, really blowy. Okay, so they're going to have some wind potential. There'll be wind potential from storms in our area as well. A 5% risk for wind. That's what that means. 5% doesn't sound like a lot, and it isn't. It's small areas that usually get hit with these severe type of winds, but you want to be prepared for them. So batten down the hatches as you head to bed tomorrow night on your Saturday night. The tornado risk is sitting right at 2%. Storms fire here and move into the valley. The valley is in that 2% risk area for a couple of spinners. Now, my gut is saying Sunday could be a better chance for some spinning storms down here in the Southern Valley in South Dakota and into southwest Minnesota as well. If we take a look at your forecast for severe weather on day 3, here it is. So we've got this marginal risk area, but there will be a pretty strong area of low pressure making its way in. We will still have the hot, humid air here in the valley. And with that low pressure system, it does look like to me we could have a warm front positioned right here through the Southern Valley. So I do think we'll have a chance for some active weather on Sunday as well. Now, keep in mind, the storms will not be all day On Saturday, we don't get them until the afternoon and evening hours after most of your outdoor activities. On Sunday, though, I think anywhere from 1 in the afternoon on, we could have some strong to severe storms. So that is a look at what we have going on over the next couple of days from the Storm Prediction Center. The heat will continue to be an issue. Here is a look. Hannah has a question here first, says, hey, Hutch, what is the hail percent for Saturday? Oh, well, let's go right back to that. I'm sorry, I kind of did bypass that. I thought about that in my little brain here. So as we go to your Saturday with the slight risk, here is that hail percentage chance, and you see that area right there in yellow. That is a 15% chance for Saturday. And here is the tornado risk for Saturday. Excuse me, I was showing the 2% risk for the day today. Here is where we have the greatest chance for some spinning storms. This is on Saturday. Okay, so today's Friday. This is Saturday's risk. So there will be a risk for some spin in the atmosphere. It's a 2% risk. What does that mean? That means within about 30 miles of any point in here, there is a chance, a 2% chance of seeing a tornado. So that doesn't mean everybody in this green area is getting a tornado. So keep those things in mind. Bottom line, if storms form this weekend, particularly Saturday late in the day and into the night, and then again on Sunday afternoon and into the evening, they could be severe. So stay informed no matter where you are, any way that you can find out information on whether or not that storm is severe. So that is a look. Let me turn that off because that's a little deceiving since that's Saturday and not today. I think this is what I did. I showed today's risk of tornadoes is at 2% in our area. Even though we have a marginal risk, there's a little bit of shear or spin in the atmosphere. And we have a whole lot of energy in the atmosphere as well, with temperatures climbing up into those mid 80s to near 90 degrees. The wind for tonight is the main threat. And there is a look at the hail risk for tonight. And so it's a rather small. This is the Saturday hail risk right here. Saturday, Bismarck, all the way up into the Devil's Lake Basin. That's the greatest risk for hail. It's significantly high, 15%. Then as we look at the wind potential, the straight line wind potential is there, and the risk for tornadoes is fairly expansive. And again, we won't see storms in every one of these areas, but where we do get storms, we could see some that produce some spin as well. Whoop, I was going to turn that off and I forgot all about it. I guess I'm a little... my brain has been, I went from brain freeze yesterday to overheated brain today. Here we go. There we go. Okay, so that is a look at your weather. I'm going to summarize with a look at the 7-day planner here. Thank you, Jenny, for your well wishes there. I do hope to enjoy the weekend. Thanks from Grafton, says Kathy. It's good to have you on. Here's a look at your 7-day planner. Notice that we're in between storms on Saturday, the Blue Angels and the Fargo Air Show. It's going to be hot. It's going to be breezy, but not as gusty as today. The strongest of the winds will be shifting off into Minnesota, where there are a few more trees to stop the winds. Temperatures cool off a bit on Sunday. There'll be some storms mainly in the south, and they could be severe. Hi, Tracy. Good to have you on board, as always. And the Blue Angels, they fly on out of here Sunday, and boy, what a treat it is to have them flying around the area over the last 36 hours or so. We cool off, but only a pinch on Monday. It's still going to be warm most of the week. There is going to be a chance of a little system working its way Wednesday night through Thursday as we close the calendar on your month of July and head into August. It does look like we get a brief break from the heat, but not a long one. So we're hitting that stretch of summer where it's more hot than not, and it's, well, a little on the stormy side. Those storms could have some punch. Hi, Sherry. Good to have you on board. That is a look at Hutch's weather. I will have updates tonight with some more details on some high resolution model data that's coming in now. And again, these models are going to change every time that they do a run. A couple of these are showing significantly different risks for weather. I'm going to show an example of this right here as well. Let's go to my model guidance here because I think that this is worthy of showing you. Here is a high resolution model. And this high resolution model is for tonight. We'll start it out for tonight. And you'll see this minuscule area of wimpy rain that we have in the central Dakotas. It's kept your temperatures cooler. Look at that. that's showing a huge explosion of thunderstorm activity now across parts of northwest Minnesota this evening. So we're not going to be without a chance of severe weather. You see that? It just fires up out of nowhere right along the boundary between the cool pool and the hot air dome. That hot air mass battlecast is going on there. And along that boundary, there's a potential, mainly up north. Okay, so these storms, if they form, could be windy. And according to the Storm Prediction Center, there's a little bit of spin and shear in the atmosphere up there. That could be something. Hey, Hutch, thanks for the early morning weather. Hey, John, you're welcome. I hope that helps out. And hopefully you find Hutch's weather here timely. So this is one model for tonight. And then overnight, here we go. Look at the time up above me. This is midnight tonight. More storms kind of fester along that boundary, right? That same boundary we've been talking about. Hot, not. Hot, not. Hot, not. Okay, up here where it's not, and down here where it's hot, along the boundary here, storms forming. Okay, so will we still have smoke? Well, I'll tell you what, Linda, a few storms and some rain can work wonders on the local area as far as the smoke in the sky. But yeah, it is still forecast to be here. I'll show you a little more on that here momentarily. Here's a look as we go into the day on Saturday. So you're looking at the 27th. The time is 4 p.m. So we get through most of Saturday with just some hit and miss clouds. There'll be clouds in the area, hopefully not too low, so that flying can be an awesome experience for those heading out to the air show. It does look like if you're heading out to Loco Days, hit and miss clouds, passing clouds there. A fun day out there in the area out in Dilworth. And then if you're heading up to Marshall County out there to Warren for the fair, woo-wee, hot, but not as hot as your neighbors off to the east. So maybe those clouds will bring a little bit of relief from the sizzle McNizzle that you'll be having in your area. Now, here's what happens. It's late afternoon. We get a few thunderstorms forming out on this boundary here between the cool and the hot. But look at this. There is the Saturday afternoon and evening main event, and those kind of fester into the late night hours. This is Sunday now you're looking at, 8 a.m., and a low pressure system moves through, and that right there is the main event that develops on Sunday. So this model says Southern Valley and points east, pretty good chance of some storms. Now let's take a look at one more model really quick, and this is the high resolution rapid updating model. Let me see how many hours this is going to go out. Not too many. I'll go back to the last one that makes sense. This model also is showing the development of a few storms tonight, but this one has them up near Lake of the Woods in northern Minnesota. Look what rolls out of South Dakota there, the Black Hills, and right through the Badlands in towards Bismarck. That's not until after midnight. And then as we get into the wee hours of the morning here, we could have a couple of thunderstorms kissing Grand Forks County the way it looks. So the models are similar but different. And if we carry this one out in time just a little bit further, we can see most of Saturday looks better with regards to the midday stuff. We'll get a few thunderstorms in the afternoon pushing into northwest Minnesota and up there by maybe, I don't know, Rainy Lake, somewhere up there. And then as we head on through, those head up off into the Arrowhead, and here's the main event coming at us from the west. This will be your Saturday evening stuff that will ride through into the wee hours of Sunday morning. So models are kind of in agreement here that we'll have rounds of storms, not storms all weekend. It's going to remain hot, mainly in the south, and we're going to have some stout storms when they do form. All modes of severe weather will be a possibility, but wind, locally heavy rain will be in the forecast as well. Look for my forecast on that coming up here in just a few moments. Jerry is asking, when will we see the cooler weather in Breckenridge? Blah. No kidding. You know what? Because this boundary kind of stops right here, it's going to be Sunday when we get in the afternoon hours. So if you look at my 7-day planner, Breckenridge is going to be very close to these digits that we have here. Sunday will be a little bit cooler, but still near 90. And even on Monday, we don't cool off that much. We'll be in the mid and upper 80s. So it doesn't look like we get too much relief at all. And the humidity is still an issue as well. Marvin, thank you so very, very much for your kind words. Now a quick look at that smoke forecast. I don't even know if the individual that asked for it was asking, but you know what? As my throat is getting itchy here, it just reminds me that, you know what? It's something we should look on. Okay, so let's take a look at this smoke forecast. We're going to look at the surface smoke forecast here, and you're going to see that it's a little lower today, as we talked about yesterday. Those south winds pushing it out. But notice that most of the surface smoke coming from fires in the Pacific Northwest swirl around the northern tier of counties as we go through Saturday morning and then out briefly. So we may get a little bit of a break from the smoke in our area. Now, as you take a look, there's more coming in as we head into Sunday from the west. But when we look at the whole depth of the atmosphere, it's still going to look hazy, and you can still send in some pictures to hutchesweather.com because we'll have what we call vertically integrated smoke. It's the whole depth of the atmosphere. Notice, still showing smoky over us. There's a brief break. In the same area, we get that rain that we were talking about, and here comes the smudge, right? And the sludge and the no fun air throughout the depth of the atmosphere. So that's your smoke forecast where you see the greens. Green doesn't mean go. Green doesn't mean good. Even this gray stuff is showing at least some smoke in the depth of the atmosphere. Green is an increased step up, but the orange and reds is ridiculous. So, if you felt like coughing, that might be why. And in fact, let's take a look at that visible satellite image just because we can. Let's see if I can find it. Where'd we go? And there we are. Okay, so where did it go? I'm losing everything here. There it is. Okay, so as this loads up, you'll see this milky haze. That's all smoke. You can really see how thick it is out here. This is really difficult to tell whether what you're seeing, this haze, is out on the ground or aloft, but we certainly can see it. And it looks like it's increasing or decreasing. It really has to do with the angle that the sun is. When the sun is at high noon pointing straight down, it doesn't look so bad. But when it gets lower in the sky, the sunlight starts bouncing off of all the smoke particulates there, and it really lights it up. See the change that you're noticing there? And what we see is just a few fair weather cumulus clouds in and around the Twin Cities. And here is that boundary between the hot and not. And that's fueling a few showers and a few rumbles of thunder. That's your weather. I see you too, Rita. Good to have you on board. Thanks for joining. I see Bemidji right up in here, and it's looking like it's pretty warm indeed for all of our viewing area, with the exception of the Devil's Lake Basin enjoying some slightly quieter and cooler conditions. Linda says the smoke seems to affect the garden and my nightly solar lighting. Wow, you know what? That's an observation I haven't made. I don't have a lot of solar lights. I do have a couple, but certainly when you look at the moonlight, it just hasn't been very bright at all, particularly when it first rises. And that moonlight has to travel through thousands of miles of atmosphere to reach our eyeballs. So the more miles of atmosphere that moonlight has to travel through, the more of this sludge and schmuck that it has to go through, and the more of it kind of refracts and bends those rays of the moon and changes its color as well. So indeed, it's pretty smoky out there. All right, that is a look at your weather. I'll have updates right here. You're watching Hutch's Weather. I sure appreciate you checking out my other avenues of getting weather information to you. And again, you can check up with the latest on hutchesweather.com. Hope to see you there. You can drop your comments here on what you like and what you'd like to see in the next step of Hutch's Weather, both here or online. Let me know. Have yourself a rather wonderful Friday evening, and we'll check in a little later.